Hi folks, those of you who followed my channel for a while know that I've been pretty critical of Google Stadia, but the fact of the matter is that Google Stadia's streaming service as a technical showpiece has been very good. The actual streaming has been probably among the best out there. However, Stadia hasn't delivered. It really hasn't delivered what it promised. And I've been sitting around looking at my subscriptions and who I should cancel because, well, I've got lots of subscriptions. And the obvious one that came up is Google Stadia. And the reason for that is that, well, as I say, it's had problems. It didn't deliver what it promised. All the integration with YouTube and various other things just weren't there. And I've never bought a game on the service because I've always worried that the service might fold. Google's got a track record with this. And while I have played the games on occasion, and if I'm being honest, I've had quite a good experience with those games. I've played Zombie Army, Serious Sam, I played a bit of Grid, and, you know, there's various games on here that I have tried and have quite enjoyed playing. And if you look on here now, I've got the Pro subscription where you pay, I think it's $7.99 a month. Let's just have a look at that. $8.99 a month. So I'm paying $8.99 a month to Google Stadia. And you get some free games for that. And as you can see here, I've got a fairly decent library now. You know, if you look here, it's what, 4, 8, you can go on down. There's quite a lot of games on here now that I'm getting every month as part of my subscription. But the reality is, if we just go back to the top here, I've got Zombie Army on another platform. I've got Grid. I've got Serious Sam. Haven't got Monster Jam. I've got Strange Brigade. PUBG's free anyway. I think I've got Bomberman somewhere. I've definitely got Wreckfest. I've got Wreckfest on PC and Xbox. I own 2 copies of the Falconeer. I've got Saints Row on Xbox. Life is Strange, I believe I've got on Xbox. Bloodstained I've got. Destroy All Humans I've got. I've got the original 360 version of that, and I've also got the uprated version for the Xbox. Got Mafia 3, Darksiders 3, Darksiders 2 I think I've got as well. Ark I can play but I don't really want to. Control, I've got Control on the Xbox. I haven't got LO Engineer. 2K21 is it's a 2K game, so it's full of microtransactions. Nice that it's free on there, so I could probably give it a go, but that's not going to keep me on the service in and of itself. And as you go down, you know, the game Jedi Fallen Order I've got on Xbox. Resident Evil Biohazard got on Xbox. Might have it on PlayStation as well, if I remember rightly. So what actually is on here that's keeping me on here? I've got Submerged on the Xbox. Super Hot I've got on Xbox, and I've got on the Oculus Quest 2. Got Journey to the Savage Planet, SteamWorld Dig, Little Nightmares, and it goes on and on. I've got all these games elsewhere. So nothing that is coming on this service is anything that I can't get elsewhere and haven't got elsewhere in many cases. And there's nothing on the service that makes me want to stick with it. That's the problem. And, you know, this has been a problem for a while now with Google. They haven't committed to this service. And if we go into this Eurogamer article here, everyone knows this by now. Stadia reportedly deprioritized as Google focuses on Stadia selling streaming tech to third parties. And I think they're selling to Peloton and various other companies. So I think Phil Harrison's back in London now. So Google clearly aren't committing. And you've got Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. You've got PlayStation buying, Bungie. And they're committing to their gaming services. While Stadia, what is Stadia doing? Are they doing any deals with third-party companies to try and entice them in? I don't know. They were early on, but are they doing that anymore? So we're left with a situation where, I mean, you know, let's go to the store here. the first thing you see on there is Cyberpunk update. You can buy these games, but look at the prices. I mean, they're not really that much better than anywhere else. These are games I've claimed. $54.99 for Dynasty Warriors. Why would you buy that on here now if you're a Dynasty Warriors fan? Why would you buy that on Stadia? Given, just go back there, that this is what we're reading in the press. So, unfortunately, while I think the technology for Google Stadia is fantastic, and the streaming is possibly second to none, I think NVIDIA GeForce Now is probably up there with it. I don't think Microsoft streaming service is quite as good. It varies with Microsoft. Sometimes it's good. And when I play it on the Xbox, it works really well. And not so much on my iPad. Worked okay on other things like my phone. I had a decent experience there, but it is hit and miss. Stadia seems to be a lot more robust. But as I say, when I go into my games, I've been through them, what is there on there that actually keeps me on the service? And the answer is, I'm afraid, nothing. So the reality is that today I'm going to unsubscribe. And you can see my subscription here, $8.99 a month. $8.99 a month, okay, it's not a lot of money, but like I say, when you add it together with all the other subscriptions, they all add up. And so, unfortunately, this is what I'm going to be doing. Unsubscribe. I'm not satisfied with, and let's see, why are you cancelling your Stadia Pro subscription? I'm cancelling temporarily. I'm not satisfied with Stadia overall. It's not worth the price. I'm not interested in 4K HDR or surround sound. Well, that's a load of rubbish anyway, because 9 times out of 10 you don't get that. I'm having technical issues. Well, to be fair, I haven't really had that many technical issues. No more than you would expect from a streaming service. I mean, it's far better than streaming PlayStation Now, for instance. I'm not satisfied with the games that are included. Well, I suppose that could be an answer. I'm not satisfied with the games that are included. Certainly that's the case for me. I mean, as I say, I'm not going to buy games because I don't trust Google to keep this service running, and I don't know what's going to happen to my games if it dies, which it looks like it might do, or more likely to die than not at this stage. So I'm not particularly happy with the games that are included in the subscription. They're not too bad, and I've got a decent subscription, decent number of games, as you've seen already. But there's nothing on there that holds me to the service. It's not worth the price. It's certainly not worth the price at the moment, I don't think. Not for what you're getting. To have to pay for games on top if you want any of the newer issued games, the newer games that are coming out. And they have nothing like, you've got Horizon Forbidden West coming to the PlayStation. Last year we had Halo and Forza Horizon 5 come to the Xbox. Nintendo keeps putting out new games. I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, and I've got my issues with Nintendo, and maybe I'll make a video about that coming up. But the fact of the matter is, Stadia's just not competing. They're giving us nothing. And that's the problem. As much as I like the streaming itself, and I think it's top of the class, there's nothing to keep me on the service. So it's not worth the price. Unfortunately for me, it's not worth the price, and I can't see it lasting. So this is where we go. Cancel your Stadia Pro subscription. You'll lose access to games and add-ons that you've claimed with Pro. Future claimable games and discounts. Yeah, well, whatever. Support for 4K HDR and 5.1 surround. Yeah, okay, because we always got that, didn't we? Your subscription will be cancelled at the end of your billing period on the 28th of February, 2022. You can change your mind and restore your subscription at any time. And will I do that? Well, highly unlikely, if I'm being honest. So, yes, cancel. So, unfortunately, Stadia, it was a good idea. And as I say, I was critical of it early on, but the promises they offered, if they'd have delivered, it would have been a fantastic service. And if they'd have delivered more games, and I've said this time and time again, and I'm going to say it again now, if they'd sorted out the pricing model, if they charged a flat fee and given you games as part of that service, maybe not all of the games, but a broader selection of games to make it worth the subscription, then maybe. The pricing model was poor. I mean, even compared to something like PlayStation Now, the pricing model was poor. You pay PlayStation Now, you get all of that back catalogue of games. There's nothing like that on Stadia. And to be honest, I'm probably going to cancel PlayStation Now as well because I don't think it's worth it. But it's definitely more value for money than Stadia. Certainly in terms of, the games you're getting. So yeah, unfortunately, I've cancelled Stadia and I can't see myself going back. It's a shame, but there it is. Anyway, that's me done. I just thought I'd make this one. It's depressing, but it has to be done. And I'm going to go and grab myself a cup of tea and commiserate with myself. But anyway, at least I'm saving some money. All right, speak to you next one. Bye.